And if you would like to follow along in the Pew Bibles, it is pages 1396 to 1397. Love. What if I could speak all languages of humans and of angels? If I did not love others, I would be nothing more than a noisy gong or a clanging cymbal. What if I could prophesy and understand all secrets and all knowledge? And what if I had faith that moved mountains? I would be nothing unless I loved others. What if I gave away all that I own and let myself be burned alive? I would gain nothing unless I loved others. Love is kind and patient, never jealous, boastful, proud, or rude. Love isn't selfish or quick-tempered. It doesn't keep a record of wrongs that others do. Love rejoices in the truth, but not in evil. Love is always supportive, loyal, hopeful, and trusting. Love never fails. Everyone who prophesies will stop, and unknown languages will no longer be spoken. All that we know will be forgotten. We don't know everything, and our prophecies are not complete. But what is perfect will someday appear, and what isn't perfect will then disappear. When we were children, we thought and reasoned as children do. But when we grew up, we quit our childish ways. Now all we can see of God is like a cloudy picture in a mirror. Later we will see him face to face. We don't know everything, but then we will, just as God completely understands us. For now, there are faith, hope, and love. But of these three, the greatest is love.
I hope you can see how the song, A Gift of Love, is connected with the scripture reading. Because that's what it's really based on, 1 Corinthians 13. I have it memorized, not this translation. I have the New Revised Standard Version memorized. If I should speak in the tongues of angels and mortals, but do not have love, I'm a noisy gong or a clanging cymbal. I'm not going to reread it all over again. But the thing is, there was a problem in Corinth. That's what the letter was written to. We know it as 1 Corinthians. And Paul had been told by some people from that house church as he was traveling to another town that there's a lot of argumentation going on in Corinth, and that people were disagreeing with each other and not being all that loving toward each other. So the letter really was more of a guide of how people should live and pray and work with each other. And so he then, in what we now refer to as chapter 13, talked about the nature of love. And basically what he was saying is that love isn't selfish. Love, true love is when you think about that other person even more than you do of yourself. When you're considering their needs, their hopes and dreams. To be a child, and you want so much to protect that child and make sure that the child doesn't get hurt. And that's what love is really all about. What we often refer to as passion fades. Sorry about that, but it does. And hopefully there's an underlying love there, or it's just not going to last. Right now, I want to share a story with you, because we have a lot of other things to do today, but this story should probably take the majority of my time in delivering this message. And this is a true story. The names, of course, have all been changed to protect the innocent. But this really did happen. A number of years ago, one of the high schools in the LA Unified School District won the National Debate Championship. And this was not one of the wealthier schools like Pacific Palisades or somewhere in the valley. The other valley, of course. This was just totally unexpected. And how it all came about, a young man with lots of dreams and hopes and full of energy, wanting to change the world, had graduated from Yale University and gotten his master's degree in English, and then got his teaching credential and came to this school. And he had been a debater when he was much younger. And so when he got to this school, of course, they asked him if he would be the debate coach. And he thought, oh, I would love to do that. And so he had a few years under his belt of coaching people who had never had any kind of debate experience. And they did pretty well. Even his first year, they made it into the finals of LA County. And there's an awful lot of schools in LA County. So that was very good. And then in the following year, they made it to the Southern California regional finals, and that's good, right? Third year, his best debate student was now a senior, and I'll call him Bob. And he was raring to go, but he really needed a better partner. Well, this is what happened. The cutest, and I'll say sexiest, cheerleader in the school, the one that all the guys just couldn't keep their eyes off of, took a class in the summer in debate, and this teacher, I'll call him Mike, heard about it. He said, she's a debater, like, she's a cheerleader, right? But anyway, she took his class in argumentation and debate. And so he thought, okay. And he couldn't keep his eyes off of her. He was a good boy, good teacher, no scandals or anything at that school. But it's like, I don't know if I can do this. And the first week, the cheerleaders usually on Fridays wear their little cheer outfits. Well, he almost had his eyes fall out of his head. And she saw that, and she recognized it. So never again did she ever wear her cheer outfit to school, only at the games. And so anyway, he had the topic, which was the year's topic, and she got up there and she just blew everybody away. She was that good. And we found out later that, you know where she learned how to debate? YouTube. She watched the champions on YouTube and saw exactly what a really good debater does. And so anyway, Mike said to Bob, the debater, I think that Sarah should be your partner. She's that good. And Bob's like, oh, I can handle this. But he did. And they went on to win all of Los Angeles County, all of Southern California. And the state of California itself, they had to go up to Sacramento and debate people from Northern California. And they took the state of California. A lot of people didn't know that Sarah came from a very horrible home environment. And in spite of that, she was very popular. Her mother did not allow her to date at all. Men are all evil. There are a lot of evil people in here. They're all evil, yes. And always put her down because she disagreed with her in terms of her thoughts. And so Mike found out one time, it was long enough ago when teachers could take their students home with the, other kids in the car with them. And the mother said, oh, why are you bothering with her? She's nothing. Why do you have her debate? So anyway, he just didn't bother, but he really felt sorry for her. So they ended up in New York. That's where the finals were. And they won the championship from this high school that didn't have really a very good academic reputation. Wow, that was wonderful. Well, the way it turned out, Sarah and her debate partner became boyfriend and girlfriend, but of course they couldn't go out because the mother wouldn't allow it. But she unfortunately did not get a debate scholarship, even though she was probably of the two the better debater. Her debate partner got a scholarship to Pomona College, and she won a cheer scholarship to USC. And the problem was no one really ever took her that seriously. And so she was happy because she had a 4-year scholarship to pay for all her room and board and books and tuition and everything. And so she and Bob, it was very difficult because he was there in Pomona and she was there at USC, and she was gone a lot of weekends because USC is a big school for football and they often have to travel. So she couldn't see him all the time, and he knew that. And so they went through the freshman year, sophomore year, and in his junior year, in the beginning of his junior year, his current debate partner was having a lot of emotional problems. And she was clinging on to him, and he got very turned on, you might say. And they had sex, and she became pregnant, and she decided she wanted to keep the baby. And so, how was he ever going to tell Sarah? What was he going to do? So, he knew what the right thing to do was. Not the way he felt, but the right thing to do was to marry her, make the best of it. She was a good person. And he was more concerned about the child than he was about himself. And he wanted the child to have a father. And so he chose to marry his debate partner and had to tell Sarah what he had done. And he felt so bad about it because they had all these big plans of when they were, finishing school and getting married and all that stuff. Well, after crying her heart out for a number of weeks, he called his debate coach and said, "Mr. Kelly, I know how you feel about Sarah. I've always known. And I respect you for being a gentleman and not doing anything to try to promote any kind of a romance or anything." But then he confessed to his former debate coach what he had done. He said, "Here, I want you to have her number. I don't want her to feel that I portrayed her and that there's no hope and that all guys are bad." And so he gave Mike Kelly her phone number. And he called her and he said, "This is Mike Kelly." And she said, "Mr. Kelly," because that's the way she knew him. She said, "Mr. Kelly, why are you calling me?" And so he let her know that Bob cared that much about her that he was willing to let go and to actually have maybe a potential relationship between she and her former coach. Well, the end of the story doesn't end because they're still together. But anyway, they did get together. They did get married. And what Bob did was an understanding of the meaning of love. He didn't want to hog everybody for himself. He knew how depressed she was and how bad she felt for what he had done. But he cared that much about her that he knew how the coach had really felt about her and gave the phone number to him so that he could have a potential relationship. Now that's what love is. It's unselfish. Very, very unselfish. And so when Paul wrote his letter to those folks in Corinth, he wanted them to stop bickering with each other and thinking that I'm right and you're wrong and my ideas are better than yours and I can do things better than you can. It's like, stop all of that. Love is patient. Love is kind. Love is not envious or boastful or arrogant or rude. All of those things. Love is extending yourself out to another person. And in doing so, you are expressing the love that God has for each and every one of us. Amen.
Amen.